Hey guys, what's going on? Back to you again with another movie review today for Halloween. And this is going to be on a movie that came out a couple years ago. I just never got around to talking about it, and that is Hocus Pocus 2. Now, before this came out, I was super excited. Years prior to that, I thought it was, not really a great idea to bring back, Hocus Pocus, and thought that it was kind of, weird or whatever. But the more I thought about it, and the more, anticipated I was, the more I was excited about it, and all that years ago, being skeptical and saying that having a sequel wouldn't be good was just, tossed out the window for me. Um, and basically, it's 29 years after the first movie, and it's in Salem, and two girls, Becca and Izzy. Uh, Becca is having her 16th birthday, and it's Halloween, and they end up getting a black flame candle from a magic shop that they go to constantly, and it ends up getting lit, and it brings back the Sanderson sisters, and they, of course, wreak havoc on the town of Salem once again, and Becca and Izzy basically try their best to stop them and defeat them, and that's basically the premise of the movie. And I have to be honest, it's a very good sequel. The first one's obviously the best one, but this one is actually a very solid sequel, and it's directed by Anne Fletcher, and it has a lot of people returning: Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy. You also have Doug Jones returning. He was Billy uh, in the first movie, and they all did, tremendous coming back in this movie. And the other actresses are, let's see, Whitney Peak, Melissa uh, Escobedo, I think that's how you pronounce her name. And it's also a Sam Richardson, Tony Hale, and Hannah Waddingham. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And this is a Disney Plus original. This wasn't going to be released in theaters. And I can see why they probably didn't want it to be in theaters, because they know everyone loves the original so much, and they were thinking, well, it might not do so well. It might be a box office bomb, so let's just release it on Disney Plus instead. I mean, I would have liked to see it on the big screen. I'm not gonna lie, but seeing it on Disney Plus, I mean, it was a good time too. I've seen it quite a few times since then, and I thought it was really good. I recently revisited it pretty recently, and I still think it's great. And you know, I think that a lot of people, give this movie a lot of grief, and I don't think it deserves that at all. And it doesn't even have like the greatest rating on IMDb. I'm gonna put that up for you guys. It's a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, and of course, the first one obviously tops this one. And I think it deserves at least a 7 out of 10. That's just my opinion. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Um, but I thought the film was very well acted, well shot. The special effects were great. Um, and the scenery was great. The music is absolutely great. I like the new characters. Some people might not have found them, as, lovable, or as, like, relatable as, like, Max, Danny, and, um, you know, Banks and Allison, but they're definitely not as great as those characters, but they still, pull off the movie very well. And I think the movie was very funny. There's definitely a lot of funny moments, obviously, between, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy. They're hilarious as ever, just like as they were in the first movie. And they kill it yet again. And obviously, you know, Um, time has progressed since that movie, but they all look, really good for um, how they are now. And I think that the movie had a great pace to it. It's an hour and 44 minutes, and I think that it worked well, and you know, it was also filmed in Rhode Island, apparently, and let me see what part of Rhode Island it was filmed in, and I'll tell you guys in a minute here. Um, yeah, it says it was filmed in Rhode Island, replacing Salem, Massachusetts, and so I thought that was pretty neat. And it's it was very well made, and I was great to see Billy come back, and there was also like some more um, backstory on the witches and everything, like a prologue in the opening scene. I thought that was a great, opening, to the movie. Kind of like what they did with, like, the first movie was like a backstory prologue sort of thing, but this one was a lot different and focused on the witches when they were younger. I thought that was really cool to see because we didn't really know much about them, in the first movie. Like, we just know that, they're just, evil people. Or evil witches, I should say. Um, but yeah, like in this one, um, like we see a backstory on them, and I thought that was very neat to see because that's what I feel like us fans really deserve because we didn't really know much about them. Like I said in the first movie, we just know that they're just evil and stuff like that, and like we also get to know even more of like their weaknesses and stuff like that. Like I thought that was interesting, and there were definitely um, some characters that were very, like very like strange and like weird and annoying, but like not talking about like the main characters, but like some of the side characters were pretty out there and were like they did a lot of like questionable things. You watch it like what the hell were they thinking, you know what I mean? But I mean, like that's what movies are supposed to be. Like, there's always, the smart people, and there's also like the not so smart people, and there's of course like the villains, which are the Sanderson sisters, of course. And growing up with the first movie, I had high hopes for when I first saw it, and I had a great time with it. I still have a fun time with it, and the first movie is great. I watch it every year for October, and I'm sure a lot of you people out there do too. But yeah, if you enjoyed the first movie, I recommend going to watch the second one. If you have Disney Plus, or if you have the Disney Plus bundle with the Disney Plus, Hulu, Max, ESPN, or however that's set up, definitely give it a watch. And if you haven't seen the first one, and you haven't seen this one either, definitely go watch the first one. And it's great for kids. I mean, like it's nothing too scary about it really that much. It's more funny than scary. I mean, there are some like um, like eerie weird parts, just like in the first movie, but like nothing like above like PG level or anything like that. But I still think it's great, and you know the budget of it is $40 million, so it's a pretty big budget movie, and you know the music is done by John Debney. I'm not sure if he did the music for the first one. He might have. Let's see. Um, Yes, he did. Yeah, the music is just as good as the first one, in my opinion. And there was a lot of funny scenes, like where they go to the Walgreens and the girls tell them that the children's souls are in the lotions and they're drinking it. Like, that's really, really gross, but it's very funny. And there was also, like, the scene where. Like when they first come back, they sing how like the witches are back. That was a very nice song. That was brand new, and also they're hunting for the mayor, and they have like control over like the town for like the Sanderson sister costume competition, and they lose, and they basically sing one way or another instead of um, I put a spell on you, just like they did in the first one. It's a lot different, and they do one way or another. That was very, very good. And also, um, it's very funny that how they use like the brooms, like Winnie uses like a broom that she steals from Walgreens, and Sarah rides on a Swiffer, and Mary rides on those like two little like wireless vacuums that you can control from like your house when you're not home, and she just rides on them and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. And there's also like uh, like a subplot, I guess you could say, uh, where like Becca and um, her other friend, uh, I forget her name. Sorry about that. What was it? Izzy. There we go. Yeah, Izzy. Yeah, it escaped me there for a minute. I'm sorry. They have another friend, Cassie, who's the mayor's daughter, and all three of them were like very close friends, and then Cassie's like, distancing herself from them, and they're distancing themselves away from her because they feel like that she's not really into, hanging out with them anymore. So that was, sort of an interesting subplot because, I mean, it happens with teenage girls and also, like, not only girls, but like, guys too. Sometimes you outgrow people, so I like how it like also showed like real life challenges, and I thought that was neat because people do need to see that in movies, not only learn about it from school or talking about it with like your parents or whatever. Like they need to show that in movies because um that's what movies should do. I know a lot of movies are different, but um, family movies like this, they definitely need to show messages like that. The how certain stuff like this happens, it sucks, but it happens. And I just like how all that was set up and everything. And it was very, very funny. Especially what's his name? I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Um, it's gonna come up in a minute here. Um, let's see, what the heck was the guy's name? Yeah, Sam Richardson is Gilbert, the shop owner, the magic shop owner. He was very funny. He was also very like weird and nerdy and pretty out there. Like he's like obsessed with like the Sanderson sisters and stuff like that. But like he never knew that something like this would actually happen, and like you find out that he knew about all the stuff that happened in the first movie, which I won't go into detail about that, but just know that he knows all about the stuff that happened years before this movie, which I thought was interesting. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get too much in depth on that because I don't want to, get into spoilers if you haven't seen the movie already. But yeah, they haven't released this on Blu-ray or DVD yet. I really hope they do because I'd really like to have this in my collection. I did review the first movie years ago, so if you want to check that review out, feel free to do so. And yeah, I hope Disney puts this movie out on Blu-ray at some point. I know you can probably bootleg it. You can get it offline. I've seen it online before, but I don't really think that's really that great of a decision to make. Because I don't really like bootlegs. I really prefer like the real deal. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, hey, if people make their own custom stuff, like I said, like that's it's whatever. It might not always be legal, but that's just how people are. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm finally happy that I finally got this review out there. I've been lacking for a couple of years. Finally got it out. Sorry I haven't reviewed it sooner. I kept forgetting about it every year, meaning to review it, not watch it. But like kept forgetting to review it. But I finally did it, so I'm happy that I finally did it, and also a third one is in the works, so I'm looking forward to seeing the third one. And let me know what you guys think of it. Are you looking forward to the third one? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to suck? Do you think it's going to be just as good as this one, or do you think it's going to be probably worse than this one? Did you love this one? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.